What's going on, HDL fans? It's Gordon Stein here, coach of your Washington Archons, here for another coach interview, and this time I'm joined by coach of the Columbus Cubchoos, UrsaSupreme.
Hey, how's it going?
So, Ursa, thank you for joining me, my dude.
My
And
pleasure, yeah.
quick question here is, why the Cubchoos of all Pokemon for your
Well,
team?
It's a good question. Well, mainly it's because of who I am. I'm UrsaSupreme, #1 bear. So the bear Pokemon, I have an affinity towards them. Also, I'm from Ohio, and I'm a big Blue Jackets fan. So I thought Columbus Cubchoos, how the kind of design looks, would be a really great fit.
Nice, nice. And so this is your first season getting to draft. It's by far not your first season playing, though, because you played 10 of 11 games last season. So how you feeling about the draft this season?
This season, I think, is going to be really interesting, especially now that I'm actually able to draft on my own. This will be the first time I've ever actually drafted Pokemon, so I'm really kind of new, and I don't know exactly how to plan for such a thing. I just kind of inherited the last team I got, and I tried to work with it as best as I could. So I'm hoping for some really exciting times.
So to speak a little bit on last season before we get into some of the other questions, just real quick, how do you feel about that play style with that team versus what you're planning this season? Do you feel like it's going to be a similar play style, or that you want to try something new?
Well, it was very different from what I typically battle with, like in my free time or in like free-for-alls, things like that. The team that I received was pretty offensive, and I like to play more defensively, honestly. But I did try to make things work to that advantage, like to my play style. Like I had a really big affinity toward Tangrowth at the very end of the season because that was probably my MVP of my team, and it's now my favorite grass type because of it. So there's maybe a possibility for something like that this season. Not exactly Tangrowth, but something along those lines.
Gotcha. So going into the more basic questions, favorite Pokemon of all time?
Of all time, this is going to surprise you, but it's not a bear. It's actually Keldeo. Specifically, its Resolute form. I love everything about this mon. Its typing, its stats are amazing. The movie that it was in was one of my favorites, and I actually got an autographed picture of Keldeo signed by the guy who did the voice for him. And I love the whole concept of behind him, how it's like the Musketeer trio, and he represents the fourth one, D'Artagnan, which is my favorite Musketeer. So Keldeo is #1 for me.
Awesome. And if you did have to pick a favorite bear, who would it be?
Oh, there's no question. It's going to be Ursaring. Hands down. It's just who I am. It's the Supreme.
Fair enough. And to speak on a favorite Pokemon memory, it can either be from last season or just in general, or you can do both.
My favorite Pokemon memory, to me, is one of the funniest, but it's not so nice. When Pokemon was first coming out, and it was me and my brother, we each got a copy of the game. He had blue and I had red. I had already beaten the game, but he was having a little difficulty with the Elite Four, and I told him that he should probably stock up on some items and stuff like that before he actually battled them. And he didn't have a whole lot of money, so I told him to buy as many full heals as he could get, because I thought full heals means it heals them fully. What I didn't realize was that it just cured their status effects. So he buys as many full heals as he can with very little potions in general.
Oh, no.
And he's about to walk into the Elite Four, and I said, "Wait a second, save before you go in. This might be bad." He did, and it was the worst time ever. It was so bad that he just stopped playing altogether, and I think he gave me his game.
Oh my God.
After that, I felt so bad, but it's the earliest memory I have of that game.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I didn't know at the time.
At least you don't have full restores and full heals in League format.
Oh yeah,
Oh my
absolutely.
god. Could you imagine
Yeah,
being
I
able to
really think that's
revive a
the reason my
Pokemon?
brother stopped playing.
Could you imagine being able to revive a Pokemon in the middle of a battle? Like, that'd be so
Oh, that
busted.
would be insane.
Oh my
They would
god.
have to. I would imagine they would have to lower the time because of that.
Yeah, or something.
Oh
Exactly.
yeah.
But to speak on more of last season,
Mhm.
how'd you feel about how everything went in general last season?
I thought it went really well for it being my first draft league. Um, I thought it could be a little bit more organized as far as like getting people to actually to their matches and things like that on time because there was like a big delay
Yeah.
near the end there. But we did happen to, we did get everything done, which was great. But as far as like everything that went, the battles were actually really entertaining to watch. There was a lot of surprises, just a lot of crazy stuff, and the commentary that we were having like kind of in between was really fun to participate in.
Sweet, sweet. Glad you really enjoyed it. And then finally here, predictions and hopes for this season.
Oof. Well, we have a lot more people now, so it's going to take a lot more effort and a lot more responsibility on like a lot of the coaches out there to kind of get things taken care of and to make sure that everything is ready for all kinds of different things. Because with all this, with as many people as we have, I mean, there's going to be like no mons left to like switch in between. There's going to be a lot. I think there's going to be a lot more trading in this season, honestly.
Yeah,
Um,
I totally feel that. Like, there's gonna
mhm.
be, because last season that was a big thing. Was there was like one or two trades all season between coaches, and then the rest were just free agent moves. So
Right, because there were so many to choose from with only 12 people. But now that there's 20, there's not going to be much left. We'll be scraping the bottom of the barrel. So we'll have to make some deals.
yeah, I think that's gonna be a lot of fun though to see, and I think it brings a whole new aspect to drafting and draft leagues in general, because you got to really plan out how these trades work. You got to plan out what mons you're gonna get and how the points are gonna work. And sometimes you need a free agent move left in order to drop something to have those extra points, or to then pick something up to fill that hole of what you traded away. So
Absolutely, you got to kind of be a couple steps ahead to see where you're going to be. And it's not only with the battles that you're going to be planning out, but you have to be understanding what everyone else is choosing. That you have to be prepared for what they can do as well. So
yeah, I think that was a big thing with this season. Was a lot of coaches waited until playoffs to really prepare for other teams, and like it worked in a sense, but at the same time I feel like if coaches really took into account what other teams were doing earlier, we would have seen a little more competitive and closer matches with some of the top teams versus some of the lower teams.
well, absolutely. I mean, I didn't get to make it to playoffs, unfortunately, but I remember going over right before my battle with Mike, who eventually won, which is fantastic to him. I was watching all of his battles that he was having, and it's like I could not think of any particular strategy to do except that I had to be as unpredictable as possible. So that's why I brought a couple of tracked users for just to throw him off. That was the only thing I could think of.
I'm so glad we allow a tract in this league.
And me too. Wow.
It's so
Um,
amazing.
I remember prepping for that and I was thinking, how closely does he prep for genders? And it just snapped in my brain. It's like, this is what I can do. It didn't work out too well, but at least I tried. It was fun. So,
All right, man. Well, thank you for doing this short little interview, my dude.
oh, my pleasure. Yeah, anytime.
And best of luck to you next season.
Thank you so much. You as well.
Thank you, man. And thank you everybody for watching. And until next time, I've been Gordon Sign signing off. See you guys.